You meet someone for the first time. Within seconds, your brain forms an impression. Trustworthy, uncertain, friendly, unfamiliar. The judgment happens almost instantly, often before you consciously think about it. But where do these rapid impressions come from? Why does the brain make decisions so quickly? To understand this, we need to look at how the brain processes information under time pressure, because in many situations, the brain cannot afford to analyze every detail carefully. Instead, it must act quickly, and that is exactly what human neural systems evolved to do. But here's where it gets interesting. The brain actually uses two different processing modes when making decisions. One system is slow, deliberate, and analytical. The other is fast, automatic, and intuitive. The fast system operates largely outside conscious awareness. It relies on pattern recognition and emotional signals to evaluate situations quickly. One of the most important brain structures involved in this process is the amygdala. The amygdala helps detect emotionally significant signals in the environment. It rapidly evaluates whether something might represent a threat, opportunity, or important social cue. Because the amygdala operates very quickly, it can trigger reactions before the slower reasoning systems become fully active. But the brain doesn't stop there. Information from the amygdala and other sensory systems is then integrated by the prefrontal cortex, which evaluates the situation more carefully. The prefrontal cortex can confirm, revise, or override the initial rapid judgment. And this leads to an unexpected effect. Many of your first impressions are generated before conscious reasoning begins. Your brain makes an early prediction about the situation. Later, slower systems evaluate whether that prediction was accurate, but the brain does something even more fascinating. Rapid judgments often rely on pattern recognition built from past experiences. Over time, the brain learns associations between certain cues and outcomes. Facial expressions, tone of voice, body language, environmental signals. These patterns allow the brain to quickly estimate what might happen next. From an evolutionary perspective, this system was extremely valuable. Early humans frequently faced situations where fast decisions could mean the difference between safety and danger, a sudden movement in the environment, an unfamiliar sound, a stranger approaching. In those moments, waiting for slow analysis could be risky. The brain evolved systems that could respond immediately, but modern environments still trigger these same mechanisms. When you meet someone new or enter an unfamiliar situation, your brain rapidly evaluates signals and forms predictions. These predictions may later be refined by more careful thinking. Once you understand this process, something important becomes clear. Fast judgments are not random. They are the brain's attempt to interpret patterns based on past experience. By the way, if you're interested in understanding how the brain and body actually work, this channel explores the science behind those systems. Many everyday social experiences become easier to understand when we examine the biology behind them, and rapid judgment is one of the most powerful examples. Your brain is constantly predicting the world around you, sometimes before you even realize it. Vera explains the science behind how the human system works. Subscribe if you're curious about the biology of being human.